Hello, you guys. This is Sandra Mullins once again. It's been a long time. I haven't made a video. Ugh, say what? It's been about 5 or 6 months now since I made a video. Um, I've been going through life and going through my trials and tribulations on this walk with Christ and trying to follow God. Um, Also dealing with um, my past and people in my past and just trying to um, just heal from a lot of things. And I just didn't feel comfortable as well because I like to keep it real. I didn't really feel comfortable doing these videos and talking about what not to do when I wasn't doing perfect myself. And I'm still not doing everything that I just need to do just now. But God is really working on me. Um, he's really working on me. So I know my last story time I left off of how God saved me from becoming a felony. I can't just leave off from where I started, but I can just remember from everything from my previous video, part one. So that's how I want to start off my YouTube channel. It's just starting off from my previous video and just explaining to what happened. So in that video, I don't know where I left out, guys, so don't judge me and just go along with what I'm gonna tell you. But as I can remember, like I said, I end up purchasing a vehicle, and the vehicle and the car place. It was in a. If you went to the car place, it looks like just a legit car place. It looks like something. I mean, a very nice. It was very nice, and it was in a very suburban area as well. So I didn't really just, when they did the certain things and it was the red flags, even though I just looked at it like, okay, well, it's still a business. So I don't think they would, just do anything, just out of where I will get in trouble or anything. But sometimes you have to go through things to just learn. Sometimes you just have to live and learn. So like I said, I was with a guy friend and um, I ended up returning the car back. After I paid the car note, they told me that they put me in the wrong vehicle. That was another red flag. So, me being so naive, I still paid the car note and I went to go take the vehicle back. Knowing that I just wanted to just have a man with me, a male with me, due to a lot of companies like to take advantage and it's like mechanics and things like that take advantage of women and think women don't know what they're talking about. So I end up taking my male friend with me this time, and when we went, it just was like he was saying, it's time to go, and I think we should go because they was taking so long, and it was taking very long for the vehicle to arrive. And they just kept on saying, well, ma'am, just hold on. He will come, the vehicle will be here you know, before you know it. So I was like, well, let us just wait. Me just being second, just giving people a second chance and the benefit of the doubt. And so, well, just wait, just wait and just see, when the vehicle come, how everything will be. So, um, um, once and it was crazy because right when we were about to go, because my friend was like, we can just take an Uber, we can go somewhere else, Sandra, it's not that big of a deal, these people are already giving off bad, like something is not right. But me, like I said, the person that I was just like, just hold on, just give them a chance. And I really liked the car. So right when we was going to leave and just walk out or whatever, because my friend, he was just over it. The car ended up coming. What a coincidence. And when the car arrived, they was like, you give the car a test drive, and my friend's like, yes, we're gonna give the car a test drive. We're gonna drive it longer than just down the street. We're gonna drive on the freeway. We're gonna drive it, and so anything happen or whatever, we're gonna drive it. We're gonna drive it far. So we end up driving it far, and when we end up coming back, on our way back, my friend, he just kept on saying, I don't like it out here. And it's just, he just like he knew something was going to happen. So, we was almost close to, we end up driving down the freeway. We was close to bringing the car back to the car place. And I say, we wasn't even a good 2 minutes. We ended up driving by a police car, excuse me. And guess what? Police car end up turning on his sirens and end up putting us over. So when we saw police car, excuse me, pull, had on his sirens, I was like, oh man. And my friend was like, I told you that this wasn't, a good idea. So we end up pulling into another car place. And when we pulled into the car place, the police officer, he got out and he came to the driver's side. He asked, why we weren't driving without a license plate. And we was like, what? We both was just confused. We was like, what in the world? Like, we was just confused. And we was like, well, yeah, sir, we just got our, this car from, such and such place. And they was letting us test drive the car. And he was like, oh, that place right there. Oh, they don't go by the book. So, we didn't think nothing of it. We was like, okay, well, he knows about this car place. So, and even him saying that was kind of weird. So he was like, okay, well, give me you guys ID, and, he's going to run our background, see if we had any warrants. And then he was like, if everything comes out good, we'll let you go. So, he came back, and I don't know if he was just being judgmental or what. He was just looking at my friend, or he was just being judgmental. He ended up searching the vehicle. And he was searching the vehicle, and we were just sitting. He was just like, I'll search the vehicle, and if you guys, if I don't find anything, you guys are free to go. So it's just like, okay. And me just being who I am, just like, okay, whatever. So I sat down. We both were sitting down on the ground. And I was just looking down. I was just thinking. And when I looked up, the next thing I know, the cop was standing in front of me. And he was like, somebody's going to jail. And we both was looking like, what? And I still didn't know. He was holding something in his hand, and I still couldn't just grasp I just couldn't comprehend like what he like what he was saying and what it was he was holding in his hand. And he was like, yeah, someone's going to jail. And he looked right straight at me, and he asked me, he said, tell me. He's like, tell me whose this is. And we was like, this is not our, we just test driving the car. We didn't bring any bags. I didn't have a purse. We didn't have anything on us. Nothing. And it was just so confusing. And the cop said, someone's going to jail. If they don't want to own up to it, someone's going. He kept looking at me like he wanted me to say something. And I'm just like, I don't know. I don't, we was just test driving the car. We explained everything to you, sir. So we was like, we could call the car people. So we ended up calling the car people. And the car people was like, okay, well, we're going to come get the car or whatever. And how about he was just like, before, that he was just like, someone's going to jail. No one tells me, what's going on. Someone's going to jail. So we just was still looking crazy. Like, what in the world? Like, we're just, what? The cop ended up finding a drug. And he sold us. He said, well, if don't nobody own up to it, the driver's going to jail. So I end up getting up, putting my hands behind my back, and he proceeded to put me in his vehicle. Um, and to this day, I really just confused of everything. But he ended up putting me in his car, and um, I end up going to jail. So when I got to the precinct, um, they searched me. I had to take off everything. It was just so humiliating. Just as a person that never been to jail, never been in any type of trouble like that. It was so humiliating. I mean, they treated us like animals in that place. Um, and I mean, when I was there, I just didn't want to talk to nobody. I didn't want to speak to anybody. And it was these young ladies there, and I mean, beautiful. I mean, beautiful. It was some beautiful women in there. Like, I mean, women that you would never think, will be in jail. Um, and it was a girl. She was Chinese, and she tried to make conversation with me, and she asked me a question. I just looked at her like, not today. I don't. I mean, not today. I mean, I don't even want to talk to nobody. I just want to be left alone. So, I mean, and then it's like, we end up starting to talk and find out like how just nice and cool they were, and just to come and find out the things that they had done. I'm just like, these are sweet little innocent, just precious looking. I'm looking wise. That's why they say you never judge a book by its cover. Looking wise, and just the things that they had done. Like, I mean, it was just the stories they was telling while they was in jail. I mean, they was a repeated offenders. Let me just tell you that. So there was no, it was nothing new to. There was no more new to jail. So we end up talking. I mean, it was this beautiful, I mean, a model looking white woman there, and it's just like these women that you just would never think that they, would be in a type of trouble. I mean, some of them, everybody asking what you was in there for. It's people in there for drugs. They was in there for prostitution. I mean, domestic violence. I mean, it was just some crazy stuff. You wouldn't even think that these women, would be. And let's say their, parents and things had money, so they weren't worried about it. It was just like, okay, it's just another, day, and my parents gonna bail me out. Um, and it was one little white girl in there. It just looked so innocent, and she had a cocaine case. So and they was just acting like, yeah, hey, it's nothing. My dad and my mom, they're gonna come bail us out. And I was just thinking in my head, I was like, they gonna. I was thinking in my head, I said they're gonna back my black tail. But on a side note, the people with the serious cases, they had us like stay and dress down. Um, and we had to, me and the girl, it was the girl that she dressed down with me. They was gonna give her options to either have her mother to come pick her up, or she was gonna have to go back to prison for 6 months. And she was like a 3-time felon. So she kind of made me feel okay about my what I was going through. Um, so I mean, I felt fear. I did. I felt the spirit of fear on me heavy. Because it was something that, and it was a serious charge. So I really felt fear, but that's just like I didn't, it didn't faze me. I guess it was the Holy Spirit. So, like I said, the next, we ended up spending the night. They had us change. I had to take a shower. People was watching us. It was just so humiliating. And I noticed, like this when I went to get checked in. The police officer, he asked me. He just knew. He was like, "This your first time here?" I was like, "Yeah." He just could tell, that it was my first time. But anywho, we end up taking a shower, changing out, and they end up taking us to our cell. Luckily, I had a cell by myself. Thank God, because I did not want to share with anybody. Even the girl I was with, she seemed pretty cool, so it would have been okay. But I was just really wanting to be by myself, so I can just think and just analyze everything. But let me just tell you how God worked. Like, he just was with me because he knew I had good intentions. He knew that, it wasn't my fault, and how he would just protect you and just cover you in the blood, even when we make out these, bad decisions and don't think when we making certain decisions. Um, Everybody was saying, well, it's Sunday, and I had to go to work that Monday. So I went in that Saturday, and they were saying, well, Sunday, you probably not going to be able to see the judge because it's Sunday. And I was like, I got to go to work. I don't know, I'm probably going to lose my job. So I was just really just thinking, and I was just talking to God, and I was just asking him, was I going to be here? And he just gave me a feeling like everything's going to be okay. So I say the next morning, I didn't want to eat or anything. I just was just like, I didn't. They told me I come out for, when they have well, when the cellies come out and can watch TV, play cards or whatever, interact with one another. I was just like, no, I just want to stay in my room. I don't want to come out. I don't want to talk to nobody. I just want to stay in here. And so I'll stay like Sunday. That same morning around 10 something, I believe, the officer knocked on my door and was like, ready to see the judge? And I mean, I went to go see the judge, and the judge was pretty cool. Like, I was in there, and I think I was one of them that had the most serious charge in her. Of all the women, most of the men had the serious charges, but out of the women, I had probably one of the most serious charges, and so I was just looking at how the judge was just, still, just having mercy on all these people that had, I mean, these men and stuff that had these serious charges. I mean, they had some serious charges. And he was just having mercy on them. He was just saying, you have a bail bond, you have a bail bond, this bond, and it's 10% on a bond, so 15,000 is like 1,500 or something. Like, he wasn't like setting no high bonds or anything. So I'm just like, okay, this judge pretty cool. So then that's when it was my turn, and he told me what was my charge, and everything else that goes along with it. And he was like, since this is your first time, I get a free bail. So because I ain't never been in trouble before. So I end up going back to and like I said before, when I had got checked in, I had talked to my friend, and my friend was just like, you're gonna be okay. This your first time, so they gonna give you, they ain't gonna give you no bun or anything. So it was like, you need me, I'm gonna come pick you up or whatever. Just call me. So after he gave me my bun, I went back into my room, and I say it wasn't even no hour or anything. They knocked on my door, and it was like, it's time for you to go. I mean, it was just like that. So I end up, and when I tell you I was so ready to go, I end up bumping my knee so hard on that bed. And them beds is nothing soft, and it ain't no wood, and it's not even wood, it's metal. So I hit my knee so hard that I know I would have felt that pain if I wasn't so excited. But I was so excited to get out of there. I was like, baby, forget this pain. I'm trying to get up out of here. I had packed my bags, and I was like, I'm out the door. So we end up dressing back into our regular clothes. I end up, getting myself together in the bathroom, and I had called my friend, and, he had ended up coming to get me. So we end up going back home, and prior to that, while I was in jail, my friend, he was handling everything. He was, him and his mom went up there, and they was, telling them what had happened and how they was going to be in big trouble, and coming to find out that it was the car people fault. They end up writing a letter to the precinct telling them that, nothing in the car belongs to me, that that they, it had to be the previous person belongings. That's how good. Let me just tell you how good he is. Like, he's amazing, you guys. Like, let me tell you how good God is and how he just had his child covered in the blood. Like, when you give your life to him, like, even if you go backwards and sometimes you just do what you want to do, he shows mercy. That's his mercy and grace upon us. How he just still take care of his kids and how he still protect us even when we make not the best of decisions. I'm not gonna say dumb or stupid decisions, because we just learning, we living and we learning. But when we don't make the best decisions, he just still just pull up for us. Like how the young generation say, he just pull up. He does. He just was there for me through it all. And how about the car place end up writing the precinct a letter saying that none of the drugs or anything was ours or anything. Like, it wasn't a lot of drugs. It was just like it was a little small drug, but still was considered a felony. And it was just like it had to be the previous owners, because they had just brought me the car. We didn't have anything on us or nothing. So they just end up writing a letter to the precinct. And let me just tell you how good God was. I mean, the owner of the car place, like the big man, he was like that he would get his lawyer to fight for me and things. So he gave me his number and thanks his lawyer number. Ended up contacting his lawyer. I had a friend that I was going to church with, like she was trying to set up a GoFundMe, but I was just like, no, we don't. And even I had people was like, girl, you need to file a lawsuit, you need to do this. And I just was like, it ain't even all about the money. Like, I don't want this even on my record. Like I said, it's just how God just saw how humble and patient I was, and how I wasn't greedy and I wasn't feeding all into what everybody wanted me to do. How he just came through and blessed me. And it was months and a year later, and they end up closing the case. They end up dropping the charges on me. Oh, excuse me, y'all. Oh, look how they don't want me talking. Excuse me, guys. But I'm gonna hold it over my arms. But they end up dropping the charges. Like, God just came through for me. And how he just blessed me, and I just spoke it into existence. Even over the year of me just waiting in a charge pen and me just waiting on for my court case, I just was speaking into existence that this weapon will not prosper. This is, I'm not going to jail. Things are going to be okay. So, and God just made a way out of no way for me. And he did, and he allowed it to, the case to close and things to just come how I wanted to come, and God just come over me. And to this day, God, he's just still looking out for me and still being there for me, and I thank him for everything. And this is just my story, because I had to hold up this phone. But this is just my story to let you guys know that, just give your life to him. He'll accept you for who you are. Whatever you might struggle with, whatever sin you might struggle with, because I kept it real with God. I told him the sins that I still struggle with and what I like still doing. But I'm going to still give my life to you, and I'm still trust you. But hey, it's some stuff that I'm still kind of holding on to, God. But I'm going to keep it real with you. While I'm going to still go after you while you deliver me from these things. But just know that these are things I like to do. But I'm going to still try to, just follow you and see who you are and where you and the things that you can do in my life. And he has been showing up and out in my life. Like I said, even now, he has. And like I said, he wants me to spread this word and teach people and show people and tell people about him. And I know I'm feeling things where it's like, hey, something don't want me to tell, but it's like I have to be obedient at the end of the day. So I thank you guys, and you guys be blessed. And you guys have a blessed and wonderful day. And I'm coming back with another story time because I got some stories for you guys. You guys have a great and blessed and wonderful, highly favored. Let me cut you out. Highly favored evening. God bless.